What's going on YouTube? Today on Krakens Comics, I have a guide for New York Comic Con 2017. There's been a lot of changes to the show in the last year or so, so I just wanted to go over some of the things you should be aware of. I'm going to give you some helpful hints on how to get a New York Comic Con exclusive. I've been to every New York Comic Con except for two, so I just wanted to share some of the things that I learned along the way, and hopefully it'll make your show experience a little bit easier. Now, I am going all 4 days, and you guys already know that they no longer sell the 3-day or 4-day passes, which were at a discounted price. So to go all 4 days, it was an additional $200. It sucks. I'm not really going to get into the ticket buying process. It is what it is. But I would say, and I say this with a very small grain of salt, if you can go more than 1 day, I highly suggest it. I can guarantee you, if you're just going for 1 day, you're not going to be able to see or do all the things that you want. New York Comic Con is known as a line con, which pretty much means that anything you want to see or do, you're going to be waiting in line. It's going to take up a lot of time. So Thursday tickets are still available. They will eventually sell out. Last year, they sold out about a week before the show. A lot of people don't like to go on Thursday. They feel like there's not a ton of stuff going on. But there are some advantages to going that day. Since it is a Thursday, a lot of people have to work, so they don't get to the show until later on. Thursday is a great day to get your shopping done. The first hour or two, the show floor is pretty empty, so you can really check out the vendors, see what they're selling, and get your shopping done, get it out of the way. Thursday is also a great day to lock up a commission in Artist Alley. You guys all know that well-known artists in the industry attend New York Comic Con, and their commission list fills up pretty fast. Depending on the artist's popularity, I can guarantee you if you see them on Friday, their commission list is going to be full. You keep in mind, guys, these guys are, they're talking to the fans, they're signing comics, they're selling prints. They may have a panel that they have to attend to, so they have a limited amount of time to do commissions, so you want to see them on Thursday and lock it up. Saturdays is the biggest day of the show, and it's a great day to people watch. Saturday is when New York Comic Con has their costume contest, and I think the grand prize this year is like $5,000. So the cosplayers come really strong that day. A good spot to people watch is right by the main entrance. Reed Pop has their booth. There's that big staircase that goes up to the show floor, and there's some tables and chairs. If you kind of just hang out there, it's a great spot to people watch. You're going to see some amazing costumes. Sunday is Kids Day, and a lot of veteran con goers don't like to go on Sunday because it's just mobbed with kids and parents and strollers. For all you parents out there, if you read the FAQs and it says that you're not allowed to bring a stroller, they're not going to turn you away at the door. They may ask you to fold it up and carry it, but once you get onto the show floor, you should be fine. Sunday is also the best day to get deals. Vendors are a little bit more willing to give stuff away at a lower price. It's one less thing that they have to pack up and bring to their store. Last year, I got an Invincible #1. The vendor wanted $150 for it. I offered him $100. He said no. I went back on Sunday, and I think I got it for like $115 or like $120. So you can definitely get some great deals on Sunday. All right, guys, so let's talk about the badges. I think one of the biggest questions that everyone has is if something comes up and I get sick or there's a family emergency, can I give my ticket away to a friend? Repop says no, you can't do that. Tickets are non-transferable. Yes, you can. With the amount of people that you got coming into the show, there's no way for them to check IDs with the badges. So you can absolutely give them to a friend. Obviously, common sense. You can't give a kid's ticket to an adult. This is why you're going to see tons of scalpers along 11th Avenue selling badges. I would not buy from a scalper. You don't know if that badge has been verified or if it's been registered. But if you want to take that gamble because you really want to go to the show, that's entirely up to you. For all you fine folks out there who are coming from out of town and you have to pick up your tickets from will call, this year New York Comic Con is from Thursday, October 5th to Sunday, October 8th. You can pick up your tickets on Wednesday, October 4th, and I highly suggest that you do this. I know a hotel room in New York City is very expensive. Maybe you could look at a hotel in the outer boroughs like Queens or Brooklyn. Don't go to the Bronx. The Bronx is too far north. The subway system in New York City is very easy, and there is a subway station right around the corner from the Javits Center. The reason you want to pick up your tickets on Wednesday, it's going to save you a lot of time. If you go the day of the show, a lot of people come from out of town, and that will call line is going to be very long. Once you get your badges, you're going to have to go to the back of the general admission line, and that process can take up to 2 hours. So if you have like a photo op with a celebrity reserved, or you're trying to get into one of the big panels on the main stage, you might miss out. So if you can pick up your tickets on Wednesday, definitely do it. Another thing you should know about your tickets when you leave New York Comic Con, there's going to be a bunch of people hanging out outside, and they're going to ask for your tickets. They may offer you money, but for the most part, they're going to come up and say, hey, are you leaving for the day? I just want to check out the show floor for a couple of hours. Can I have your badge? Don't do that. The reason is you don't know these people, and if they go onto the main floor and they steal something or they act inappropriate with the cosplayer, they have your badge that's linked to your account, and you don't want to find out later on that you've been banned from future shows. I'm sure there's some way you can work around it where you can say your badge got stolen or you lost it, but you just don't want to go through that hassle. I had it happen to me last year, and the person got very upset when I wouldn't give him my badge. Just to avoid all that uncomfortableness, just say you're, getting something to eat and you're going back to the show later on. All right, guys, let's talk New York Comic Con exclusives. Some exclusives are not hard to get at all, believe it or not. Last year, I got this mouse pad, Poison Ivy from the Bombshell line. Went up to the booth, bought it, no problem. But most exclusives are sold in limited quantities per day, which is another reason why, if you can, you should go multiple days, because if it sells out, you still have tomorrow to get another chance to buy it. Some vendors require you to get a bracelet in order to shop at their booth. Just because you get a bracelet does not mean you're guaranteed to get the merchandise that you want. A perfect example is a vendor called Toy Tokyo. Every year they have Funko Pop exclusives that are very high in demand. A helpful tip: sometimes the place where you get your bracelet is not where their booth is. So last year at Toy Tokyo, you had to get your bracelet from downstairs. And another tip for you guys, make sure you look at the show floor map. You want to make sure you know where the booth is. The last thing you want to do is get a bracelet, go up to the show floor, and run around for 10 minutes looking for the booth. And when you do finally find it, it's about 500 people deep. FYI, guys, Toy Tokyo is booth 101, which is in the bottom left-hand corner of the show floor. Pretty much every vendor is in the same spot as they were last year. They may move a booth or two, but they're generally in the same area. So if you've been to Comic-Con before, you got a kind of lay of the land. But if this is your first show, you definitely want to check out the show floor map. So speaking of Funko Pops, probably one of the hottest collectibles out right now. In order to shop at Funko's booth, you need to win a lottery. That's how they did it last year. I'm assuming that's how they're going to do it this year. I'm expecting an announcement from them in about 2 weeks or so. So normally what you do is you fill out all your information, the days that you're going to be there. And if you win the lottery, they're going to contact you via email and they're going to give you a time slot. Now that time slot is set in stone. So if it conflicts with the panel that you want to see, you can contact them and say, hey, can I get a later time? Whatever time they give you, that's it. If you show up late, you're out of luck. Another thing, when you go into the booth, you can't bring a friend with you and have them buy pops and you buy pops. You can only shop by yourself and you're only allowed one item per pop. Also keep in mind, guys, if you get a later time slot, like a 5 or 6 o'clock, there's a pretty good chance that the pop you want has sold out for that day. All right, guys, I have a huge hint on how to get a Funko Pop exclusive from New York Comic Con. I have to put a disclaimer out because this is the way it happened last year. If it doesn't work out this year, if they do things differently, don't get pissed off at me. But once they sell through their lottery picks, whatever they have left over, they open up their booth to the public. So last year on Saturday, I just so happened to walk past their booth around 5 o'clock, and they were open to the public. Everything I wanted was sold out, except for this Indiana Jones pop with the Jeep. And you can see the sticker, New York Comic Con exclusive. So I went back the next day on Sunday, and I spoke to one of the staff members, and they were like, come back at 2 o'clock. So sure enough, I went back at 2 o'clock, and they were open up to the public. And I got pretty much everything I wanted. I got Super Saiyan Trunks. I got Kitty Pryde and Lockheed. I got Shane from The Walking Dead. And this was a great moment for me. I got the very last Killing Joke Joker pop of the show, the last one off the shelf. So it's definitely something worth checking into, guys. Again, that's how they did it last year. Hopefully they do the same thing again this year, because it's very hard to win that lottery. And they got a ton of great stuff. If you go to NewYorkComicCon.com, they have a list of all the exclusives, and you want to follow them on social media, on Facebook and Twitter, because they're constantly updating new content and new merchandise as we get closer to the show. Another way to get New York Comic Con exclusives is to hit up the smaller vendors on the show floor. What those guys do is they send out their staff members, and they'll buy the New York Comic Con exclusives, and then they'll resell them at their booth. Just keep in mind that it's going to probably be like double or triple the price. But if you don't want to go the eBay route, if you absolutely need to have it and you have the money, definitely hunt the smaller vendors on the show floor. They'll also have exclusives from other shows like San Diego, so that's something you want to look out for. So there it is, guys. I hope you found some of this information helpful. If you have any questions, just hit me up in the comments section. I'll definitely get back to you. I would love some feedback on this video after the show if any of this stuff helped you out. I know it can be a bit frustrating how hard it is to get tickets and all the hoops that we have to jump through just for fan verification, but it's meant to be a fun, great experience. If this is your first New York Comic Con, you're going to be absolutely blown away. There's nothing like your first show. I'm going to be there again all 4 days, so if you see me, say hello, hit that like button, subscribe, whatever. Thanks for watching.